Since the beginning of cow content, there has been one question that I'm asked over and over and over again. And although I've kind of spoken on it, I really haven't given like a in-depth analysis. That question being, why are you a cow? The most simple answer I could give you is that I like kimono mimi fashion. I've been a part of the subculture for over 4 years now, but I know this doesn't necessarily answer the question, how did I land on cow? Or how did I get to this place to begin with? To answer that, we're kind of gonna have to go way back. Back to when I was 14 years old. I was homeschooled. I was a part of a homeschool group. And in that group, it was a very interesting collection of creative individuals. I think the fun part about homeschool is that there are no barriers, there's no popularity contest. I mean, there is a little bit, but like popularity for a homeschooler looks very different than popularity for a high school. And I was just surrounded by individuals who wrote music and by people who made fursuits and constructed posable art dolls. There were so many artists in the group, each with their own super unique style. There was an individual that was really into building their own armor and constructed their own forge using scraps and just whatever they could find. And you may be wondering, what does all of this have to do with me being a cow? Well, I feel like that upbringing definitely set me up for a very alternative lifestyle. When it comes to self-expression in this manner, I definitely approach it from a let people do what they want so long as they're not hurting anyone mentality. And while I only had these people in my life for a short period of time, I feel like it was a really awesome opportunity for me to grow into myself and build some self-confidence. And even though I'm an adult and I'm separate from all of these people, I have gotten to carry that bold creativity with me through life. So to start off my journey, when I was 14 and I was in the midst of this homeschool group, I got really into anime. One of the things that caught my eye were the kimono mimi girls. And at the time it was mostly just like cat girls, and also like cat ear headbands were super easy to come by. It was just kind of socially acceptable. I feel like Ariana Grande wore like the little cat headband, and I was like, I can get away with this. This is cute. And it was honestly pretty on and off. I really liked playing dress up, so I got really into cosplay around that time. One of my friends introduced me to Tumblr, and I just loved looking at all of the cosplays on there. And at that time, I became aware of the kimono mimi ears that were like realistic. I kind of associated them with like the cosplay realm of things. I didn't quite understand that it was its own isolated thing. Now, me being me, I have this I can do it myself mentality, and I told my mom I want to get fabric and jewelry wire and fake flowers, and I want to make animal ear headbands that are also flower crowns. I made 2 of them, and the pictures of them are out there somewhere. I need to find them. I have to go through all of our scrapbooks and stuff and see if they're still out there, but I made a pair of purple flower cat ear headband and a pink flower brown dog ear headband. And my parents have always been super supportive of my creativity. So when my mom saw these, she's like, we are going to bring these with us on a cruise and we're gonna wear them to dinner. So if you've ever wondered like what kind of people my parents are, it's basically that. I probably wore them to my homeschool group once or twice, but I can't remember off of the top of my head where I utilized them, but I was just so proud of this little creation. Time moves forward. I didn't have a lot to do with the kimono mimi community. I had just moved, I was starting my life over, I started getting really into anime again, and I started making my own money. This was probably around the time I was like 17, almost 18, and during this time I was like, that's it. I'm going to start putting my money into cosplay. It's 2019. All these cosplayers are blowing up. This is something I've wanted to do for years. I believe my first cosplay was a cosplay I was gifted for my 14th birthday, which was a Asuna cosplay. Very poor quality, but I loved it so dearly. Sword Art Online being the first anime I was introduced to, it's one of those either you love it or you hate it. And it's like, when I was young, I really loved it. As an adult, I'm like, I can't rewatch this. It's a lot. But at the time, I was like, let's go, let's do this. During the My Hero Academia era, that was kind of like my final cosplays before I transitioned into being a Kimono Mimi. During my time as a cosplayer, I did dabble with the animal ears. I actually bought myself this pair of brown, I think they were like wolf or like German Shepherd ears, but I wore them as like a cat. My intention when I bought them was for them to be a piece of a Catra cosplay. However, it did take them over 3 months to arrive because Kimono Mimi ears are made to order. And rather than waiting, I just got a cheap pair of ears to throw together with the cosplay, and that was good. By the time that the ears arrived, I did start seeing more Kimono Mimi content creators, Moronic Mouse being one of the first ones I was introduced to. I saw a lot of creators that had collections of the ears, and I also saw creators that had the one pair of ears that they just kind of stuck with. And while I did want to build a collection, I was patient and wanted a pair of ears that really were a reflection of myself. Just because when you're first starting out, you don't want to blow all of your money on a million different things. Just start with one really good quality thing and build from there. So I actually utilized the German Shepherd ears that I had, and I made a lot of like cat girl, wolf girl kind of content. And I actually did use my Catra eye contacts, like one blue, one yellow cat eye. And I was doing like cat bug audios, but like they didn't quite feel like me. So I continued my hunt, and after weeks of scrolling on Etsy, this listing appeared for these cow ears. These are she. Now, I'm so in love with the craftsmanship of these, and I've never seen anything quite like it. However, I have had to retire them. And I love them so dearly. I wore them to death. But when I say that when I found those ears, like a flip switch, it is time for me to finally answer the question, why a cow? Now, the pipeline up until this point has gone as such: crafting, cosplay, Kimono Mimi, with that final step being cow. And to answer that, we have to go way back one more time. All the way back to my mother's childhood. Don't blame it on me, blame it on my mama. So growing up, my mom raised steer, and she always had this soft spot for cows and cattle. She would gush over their personalities and how much she loved her steer. So when I was born, she naturally took me and my sister to dairy farms instead of the zoo. And we spent a lot of time there. You'd pet the cows, you'd get some ice cream, you'd feed the ducks at the duck pond. And this is really what instilled that appreciation into me. So when I found those ears, it was like a missing piece clicked into place. And I've been Rita's cosplay ever since. If you made it up until this point, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.